welcome to the Keto Vegan. I'm back after an unintentional month off because, well, life happens, doesn't it? And as we dive into the shiny promise of this new year, 2025, let's chat about something we all know far too well. Resolutions. Yeah, those overambitious little promises we make to ourselves that often crumble faster than a vegan cookie without xanthan gum in it. Now, as the seasons change, so do we. Winter is nature's time to hibernate. It's a season for rest, for reflection, for quiet recuperation. And it's a reminder that not every moment needs to be full on or wildly productive. Sometimes we just need to pause, we need to reflect, we need to breathe, we need to just be. Now, I'm a sucker for having a list of jobs as long as what you can imagine. In fact, I use Trello boards, and I've got about, well, on my today list, I've got about 6 different lists. On my home list, I've got others. On the Keto Vegan, I've got others. On my therapy list, I've got others. My business therapy, I have got lists like you wouldn't believe. And I think that I can just carry on no matter what. I am learning that I need to be aware that the season means that the animals are hibernating, the plants are recuperating. It's seasonal. And in the Northern Hemisphere, as I am at this time of the year, it's cold, much colder. It's dark for more than half the day. It's wet. It's blustery and windy. I don't mind the wind unless it's a hoolie, blowing a hoolie out there. It's just an official term. Did you know that? And I really don't like it. I like hot, sunny days, and we don't get those in England, December, January, February, or November, or, well, maybe even March. Anyway, stop rambling, Rachel. So I used to overthink it, and I think this is what happened with my break. So I remember my last episode saying, next episode, this was just before Christmas, I'm going to show you, I'm going to do some sweet treats. I did some little chocolate nutty bites, and I've still got that episode filed somewhere. I haven't done it yet, but I've got all the recordings. But then busyness, Christmas happened. It was a fabulous time, family, and so on. And then I have tried not to overthink why I haven't done an episode for the last 4 or 5 weeks. And I guess I realized this is my version of hibernation, winter hibernation. And instead of forcing creativity, my head just made me rest and put the podcast aside. It does take time. And to think about what to do as well. I mean, I love doing it. So that this month off has given me a nice pause, given me the ideas for more episodes, and given me the energy to come back with a renewed spark, I hope. Let's hope it lasts through February into March, and then when spring starts coming and the weather gets warmer. Now, if you're feeling a little slower or less inspired this season, then no, it's okay. It is okay. Honor your own rhythm. Rest when you need it, and trust that creativity will bloom again when the time is right. As I'm saying these words, I really am taking them on board for myself as well. There is no guilt to be had with having a rest. If you're a person that has as many to-do lists as I do, then doing nothing feels so not okay. But don't feel guilty about that. We need to have times of rest. Okay, back to the resolutions. First, a moment of honesty. Did you make resolutions this year? Be real. How are they going? Today, I'm recording this on Sunday, the 26th of January. I'll put it out sometime next week. So, have you survived this far with doing your resolutions, or did they quietly unravel by the third? No shame here. Okay, this is a safe space. You don't need to tell anybody. I won't tell anybody. I want to know, when was your first fail? How did it feel? Was it a defiant sod this moment, or one of those quiet slips where you thought, it's just one day of not? I mean, what about, did you think that I'm going to go to bed at a better time and get my hours before midnight as well as my hours from midnight? My mother always used to say to me, it's the hours before midnight that count, Rachel. So when I was going to bed at 1 a.m., 2 a.m., and not waking up till 10 a.m., midday, teenage years, I'm not like that anymore, she would then say, it's the hours before midnight, Rachel, that count. And do you know what? I kind of agree. I really do. I love my hours before midnight. I really do. I go to bed at about 7 or 8 o'clock sometimes, but wake up at about 4 or 3. I love my mornings. Anyway, how was your first feel? Was it that bugger it, I'm just going to do it? Or was it, I just won't go to bed at 10 o'clock today. I'm just going to watch this and I'm going to watch that. Then you get to bed and then you start scrolling on your reels or on YouTube or whatever. So here's the thing. Resolutions often fail because they're like pointy shoes that you've bought online, completely unrealistic, completely uncomfortable, and destined to cause blisters. Tim Dowling from The Guardian summed it up perfectly in his New Year's post. Don't write them down. Don't write your resolutions down. And I know some people do. If there's no evidence that you've written them down, there's no shame, there's no guilt, and you probably completely forgot what you wrote in the first place. And also, are you the same person that you were on the 1st of January 2024, 1 year and 26 days ago? I very much doubt it. I very much doubt you're the same person exactly that you were on the 1st of January this year. Things happen every day. We change all the time. And who remembers by December, unless you've got them written down, who remembers their New Year resolution? Exactly. Now let's take a different approach here. Instead of resolutions, so what I'm going to suggest is, if you did set and create New Year's resolutions for this year and they're not going so well, put them aside, throw them away, forget about them, and instead do this different approach. It's not about being a brand new you. This isn't an episode of Extreme Makeover Life Edition. It's about being more you. What would you love to be less of? What would you love to be more of? Less like what? More like what? How about this radical idea of, wait for it, being kind to yourself? Stop judging yourself so harshly. In fact, we know, well, I don't know if you do, we are our harshest critics. We judge ourselves more than other people judge us. Some people, most people, if not everybody out there, is more concerned with their own shit rather than your shit. So why do we judge ourselves so much? It's because we're not kind to ourselves. It's because we don't love ourselves the way that we could. Another thing, I started reading a book a while ago about shadow work. It's so interesting, and I really, one of my intentions this year is to get back into that, find out more about it, maybe even go on a course about the shadow self. But what I do remember from that is If there's something in somebody else that really irritates you and you find it really annoying, that is your shadow self. It's a mirror of your shadow, which is you. Okay. So there's us and our shadow self. It is all us. So just reflect, what is it I don't like about, and I'm going to reveal one of mine here, somebody being late to pick me up or turning up late when they said they were going to be here at whatever o'clock and then here half an hour later. I can't bear that. I find it rude and it's annoying. Okay, now that's me. That's not their issue. That's my issue. And as I'm saying that, I'm thinking, yeah, but they shouldn't be late. That's my issue. What is it in my past that has made me dislike somebody being late? It could be anything from maybe I was promised to be picked up by somebody who was important to me emotionally, but they were really late or they didn't turn up. I can't actually remember that happening, but that could be maybe why you don't like somebody being late. It could be another reason that perhaps you were late somewhere and lost an opportunity for something. That might be the reason that I can't bear it when people are late. I mean, there will be a reason for it. Maybe I should do some exploring on that too. I might share that with you. I doubt it. It's very personal, isn't it? Now, that's about shadow work, being kind to yourself, not judging yourself. In past podcasts, I have said about the not judging yourself thing. You might not have seen that episode. If you have, I'm going to tell you how to do it again. I read a lovely book, co-written by Louise Hay, and I can't remember the name of the guy that wrote it as well. I might put a link down below. But there's a part in it, and I've done this when I was a teacher. I did it with my students, not that they then carried on and practiced it. I'm sure some of them did. But you just put your hands on your heart and say, close your eyes and say to yourself, what is it like to be me when I'm not judging myself? And when you ask yourself that question, think about the question and think about the answer. What is it like to be you when you aren't judging yourself? It's incredible. It's love. It's acceptance. It's a way to freedom. Oh my God, what a lovely way to start from now on. This 2025. What's it like to be me when I'm not judging myself? That is being kind to yourself. Now, Chinese New Year is about to happen. So, if the 1st of January feels like a full start, why not embrace the Chinese New Year, which starts on the 29th of January? So, 26th, 27th, that's Wednesday. So, maybe the day before I put this episode out. And why not do it for a spiritual do-over? So it's not about, the Chinese New Year is not about guilting yourself into going to the gym. Lots of people decide to do that. And there's so much information out there, isn't it? Like the gym's the busiest in January and then it's really, really quiet. It's about renewal. So it's not about setting these intentions that, yes, I want to lose a lot of weight. I want to get really fit. I want to write a book this year, so on and so on. And then we gradually don't go to the gym. We don't lose the weight that we want. So we then have a binge or a cheat day or 5 or 10. It is about this spiritual new year is about renewal, family, and self-reflection. The Chinese New Year is a deeply spiritual occasion celebrating abundance and harmony. They even clean out their houses to sweep away bad luck. Isn't that, I love that idea. Isn't that fabulous? And this year is the year of the snake. which is a symbol of wisdom, transformation, and shedding what no longer serves us. So why not use this as an opportunity to reflect on the last 10 years? 10 years ago, I was 44 years old. I know, I look that now, but I'm 54. Can you believe it? Don't get too close. Just don't get too close. So reflect on the last 10 years. You were such a different person 10 years ago, weren't you? You are so much more wiser now. Podcasts weren't around 10 years ago, so you certainly weren't listening to a podcast and doing that renewal and that transformation and the learning that you're doing by doing all this listening and maybe listening to books as well. So let's make the reflection a little bit more recent than that. What went well in 2024 for you? What hopes do you have for 2025? And here's the big one. If your habits don't change, your year won't change either. It will just be another year. How do we go about changing habits? As a hypnotherapist, I know you think she's completely gone off task here. She's not focusing. This is linked. As a hypnotherapist, I'm a solution-focused hypnotherapist. And we refer to the 3 Ps. So imagine you have got 3 Ps here: positive thinking, positive thoughts, positive actions, and positive interactions. When we do those 3 things, we get this release of lovely chemicals in our brain that make us feel really good, better than binging on carbs. We get those same hormones released in our brain, the dopamine, when we binge or when we do our addiction, when we eat sugar, and they are artificially produced in the brain. And we don't want to feel good for that short period of time, and then that's followed by guilt and shame and disappointment in not succeeding. If we have a positive thought, positive action, positive interactions with others, we naturally release those wonderful, beautiful chemicals: serotonin, dopamine, oxytocin. Lovely, make us feel so good. So that is the habit we can start doing: positive thinking. Our thoughts constantly happen. We can't not think. Meditating, we still think, but the thought rate slows down. Visualization, we still think, and hopefully the thinking is focused on what we want to have happen, as if it is already happening in the here and now. So instead of resolutions, try the 3 Ps. What are they? Can you remember? That's the teacher in me, isn't it? Positive thought, positive action, positive interaction. They're pretty easy to remember. And remember as well that you get what you are, not what you want. If you are thinking, I want to be wealthy, then you are coming from a place of lack. If you think, I am wealthy, I am abundant, I am in control of what I eat, and you're saying it as if it is in the here and now, it is so much more likely to happen. After all, we get what we think about, whether we want it or not. If you want peace, start acting peacefully. If you want unity, start acting in a unified way. If you want health, start showing up for your body. So when you give, when you serve, and when you align with the person you wish to be, you'll see magic happen. I want more people to go plant-based. Don't you? I know some people listen to this and you're not vegan, and I thank you for listening to it. I appreciate you, but I want some magic to happen here. I want to change the planet one person at a time. Go plant-based for the animals. They want to live as as we do. They want to live. And they feel absolute terror and fear when they are about to be slaughtered before they even know what they're going to. Just those images of the fear in those cows' eyes when they're lining up to slaughter. I can't look at them anymore. Anyway, I started the year going to bed at a normal time. Yes, a normal time, not 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock. For goodness sake, I'm a grown woman. I should be going to bed around 10. So I thought I am going to start going to bed at 9 o'clock at night, which means I'll still get my 8 hours or 7.5 hours sleep by 4:30. No, nine. Yeah, by 4:30 in the morning means I can still wake up nice and early. I did that for a couple of nights. I know my friends will be amazed, but I get tired. I mean, if I'm up at 4:30, 5 o'clock and start work pretty early and start work straight away, that's what happens when you're self-employed and work from home, then I'm knackered by 6. And if I've seen clients and if I've done loads of marking, then I'm tired and I just want to get into my bed with my hot blanket on. I love my electric blanket and it's so snug and it's so warm. And so there have been days, I will confess, only once this year so far, that I was actually in bed before 7 o'clock. I think that was about 2 nights ago. But I was in bed after 8 o'clock yesterday, and my intention is to go to bed at about 8 o'clock today. That's progress for me. I mean, it's 5 o'clock already. That is my first intention for this year. Already broken it, but I'm trying to be normal. I mean, for goodness sake, if I start dating this year, no guy's going to want to date a woman that needs to leave the date half an hour after she gets there because she needs to go to bed at 7:30 or 8 o'clock. Maybe I could just do afternoon dates. No, no, be sensible, Rach. 9 o'clock bedtime. And then if you're out, it'll be so exciting and so much fun. You'll be able to stay up till 9:30. Another one of my intentions is write, not as in correct, write, as in pen and paper, and do more writing. Did you know that psychologically, writing is really good for your brain? Processing thoughts through writing is incredible, better than typing. I love to type and do it really quick, do it quicker than I write, but I want to write. I've got a book inside of me. I'm going to have to write it under a pen name because I'll have to. But then there might be another book as well. I might start thinking about that. I mean, I've sort of got the structure, but there might be a book inside me. And I want to visualize more. I want to visualize the life that I want. I want to create an online keto vegan community where we can support each other. I want to do retreats somewhere lovely that are spiritual, keto vegan, of course, connected, guidance, growth, yoga, hypnotherapy as well, because that's my other skill, as one of my other skills too. I want to do that. So maybe my intention this year is to sort of put the structure on that. Maybe not launch it, maybe. Who knows? I might be sitting here in 6 months' time having it all launched and having hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people in the community. Wouldn't that be amazing? Somebody on this journey with us. And what I'm definitely doing, I saw a friend that I haven't seen for a very long time on Friday, and she said that since she's been doing a gratitude list every morning of 10 things, yes, not 3, 10 things, her life has changed. Listen to this, and I've been doing this ever since. So only 2 mornings so far. The first 5 are things you're grateful for that are in your life now. The next 5 are the magical 5. The next 5 are the things that you want to have happen, but you write it as if it is happening. So as I said, spiritual retreats, somewhere abroad and hot with like overlooking the sea and the weather's gorgeous. Not that I've got a thing about hot weather. So I would write that, thank you that I've got a really successful spiritual keto vegan retreat where people experience transformation. Thank you for that. So I'm not writing as it, thank you that it will happen. I'm writing it as if it is already happening. I think that's really great advice. And that is my intention to do that every morning as part of my morning ritual. Wow, haven't I gone on? So my closing thoughts for the episode today. If you set resolutions and you've stumbled already, it's okay. It's okay. Don't feel guilt. Don't feel shame. Progress isn't linear, is it? Good God, no. Progress is all over the place, and we get something here and we get something there, and we go back and we go forward and we go back some more, and then we go forward some more. But every step forward matters. So if you've gone forward a step and you go back 3 and you go forward just 1 step, every step forward matters, even if it's not better than before. It matters. Going forward matters. Think about your journey like keto. Got to link it, haven't I? So it's not about perfection, but it is about consistency. We are keto, some of you who listen are. That means we go without carbs as much as we can. But we can't go 0 carbs because there are carbs in our spinach and our salad and a little bit of carbs in some vegan proteins, but they're minimal, okay? So you don't need to go all in overnight. Small changes, perhaps, like swapping out high-carb snacks for something keto-friendly or prepping your meals, can make a huge difference over time. So bit by bit, look at your intentions, like keto, bit by bit, pre-planning, having resources in the freezer ready for you to turn to when you need them. Remember that weight loss or any health goal isn't just physical. In fact, I know what to put in my mouth, I know what to eat, I know how to do the diet, but it's not physical. It's about mindfulness. It is deeply tied to our psyche, to our psychology. I can lose weight. I could lose 1 pound a day if I stuck really strictly to intermittent fasting and little small meals. Not every day for a week, but I could lose 3 or 4 pounds a week by doing that, by really following that. But I don't. Why don't I? Because it's not always in my head. But when we slow down and we listen to our bodies and we tune into what we truly need, you will find balance. You'll find kindness. Stop judging yourself. Take it 1 meal at a time, 1 choice, 1 mindful moment at a time. Be present. So whether it's shedding pounds, whether it's gaining confidence, whether it's being kind to yourself, whether it's to stop judging yourself, maybe you want to feel more in control. This year, the year of the snake, 2025, is your opportunity to reset and thrive. Be kind to yourself. Focus on your positive actions, positive thoughts, and remember you are already on your way. So here is, I haven't got a glass of bubbly with me, not yet, it's only 5 o'clock. Here is to 2025, a year of hope, self-acceptance, and just a sprinkle of intentional magic. Until next time, stay well, be happy, and be so kind to yourself.